The book I have chosen is Funny Bones, Posada and His Day of the Dead, Calaveras. Calaveras in Spanish does mean skull. The author and the illustrator is Duncan Tonatiuh, and it is an Abrams Books for Young Readers. That's the publisher. The copyright is 2015. This is a picture book, a biography, and there is some cultural diversity in it. There are 40 pages. The appropriate age range is 7 to 10, and it is a 2016 Robert F. Sibert Medal award-winning book. It is about the Mexican artist Jose Guadalupe Posada, also known as Lupe. He was born in Mexico in 1852, and when he was 18, he began working at a print shop. And while working there, he learned lithography and engraving. And in his spare time, he illustrated humorous cartoons for a small newspaper. And at one point, he drew cartoons of politicians climbing over one another, stepping over one another up a pole, and his goal was to show that their greed and bad traits. And after the election, some of the politicians were reelected, so in order to avoid trouble, he moved to Leon, and there he married, opened his own print shop, and then his wife and he had a son. And out of respect, the people in Leon called him Don Lupe. He also taught lithography at a local school there, and he became successful and very well known. And then in 1888, there was a terrible flood, so he moved his family to Mexico City. He began working as an illustrator and a designer in several print shops. And he collaborated with an author named Antonio Venegas, and he illustrated numerous things for him. Scary creatures, fires, miracles, violent crimes, heroes, bad guys, bandits. These stories were printed on large, bright sheets of paper, and they were called broadsides. And the two worked together for 20 years. But their busiest time was during the Day of the Dead celebration in Mexico, which is November 1st and 2nd. And for this holiday, publishers published literary calaveras, which were rhyming poems that featured a skeleton and then made jokes about the skeleton. And these calaveras became his most famous images. And I do have a picture of one to share. Here's one. And they say that maybe he saw a prudish woman and her fancy clothes and big hat. And then here's this. And maybe he was trying to say that no matter what you're wearing, we're all the same underneath. There's some of his other art. And they said that he had to illustrate everything backwards, because then when it went on print, then it was how it was supposed to be. If he would have illustrated it the correct way, if he would have printed it, then everything would be backwards. So it took a lot of talent to do this. Now the illustrations in the book, I do believe a lot of the characters are all drawn exactly the same. They've got the big funny ears, the facial expressions, everything's the same except maybe some facial hair, the clothes, the hair. And what is neat about this is everything is mostly drawn and colored, but the hair appears to be actual pictures of hair. And I know I've done one of his books before, and I've mentioned that, which I just find that very interesting. And there's a picture of the broadsides with the calaveras on them. I do think this would be a good book to read, especially during a Day of the Dead celebration. It could show children what some celebrations are like in Mexico, and along with the book, it might be good to show them a video of what it really looks like. And the activity that I have chosen is for children to make their own calaveras, and I tried to make it as simple as possible, just with markers, construction paper, scissors, and a glue stick. I thought maybe the teacher could actually either do the lines of the skull and the children could cut it out, or just have them pre-made they could put on construction paper. I do have a photo that I got this off of Pinterest when I was researching this, so here's a picture of it.